What is going on, beautiful people? I hope you're having a beautiful day because I'm having a beautiful day. So in today's video, what I want to do is take you guys through a few exercises to grow the serratus anterior. Now, I know what you're thinking, but it is not a dinosaur from the prehistoric era. It is actually a muscle. And this muscle in particular is what is going to provide you with that sharpness in terms of the overall abs and midsection. All right, guys, so the muscle I'm talking about itself is this one here. It's the three little gill things that you won't see very often. It's not a very commonly visible muscle group, as people just do not train them, or their form within particular exercises are not there. The purpose of this muscle per se is pretty much to protect the scapula. So it's called the boxer's muscle for the reason that when you extend the shoulder blade out, it starts to engage and protect the scapula, right? Other than that, the scapula would just be teared off the bone and injury would be very, very common. So it also comes into play with overhead lifting, and as such, a pullover is a very, very commonly used exercise to grow this one. Now, overall, the reason for development for me, and maybe for you, is overall aesthetics. It is a nice looking muscle, I have to say so myself, and it does add a lot of shape to your obliques, your midsection, and it really is an eye-catching body part, as not many people really dedicate the time to actually develop this muscle. So anyway, guys, I'm not gonna talk too much, just gonna jump straight into the top three. All right, guys, so exercise number one is going to be the dumbbell pullover. Now, as I stated before, the serratus comes very, very much into play with overhead pressing movements, or wherever your arms are overhead, the scapula really starts to engage. So this basically will instantly engage the scapula. As such, because of a dumbbell pullover, right, your arms are starting off overhead, and that's when you're getting a max stretch, and that is when you'll notice your serratus to really start to come into play. And when you come up, you want to treat it almost like you're trying to press your shoulder blade forward and getting a nice engagement within that serratus. You'll notice here that when I start to lift my arm overhead, the serratus starts to come into play. You see that? It starts to open up, and these three things just pop the mother F out. Now, that is the general concept of it. It is about letting your scapula and your shoulders elevate and lift up, at which point you feel a very nice stretch within the lat and the serratus region. And then you can come back in and think about actually squeezing down into that serratus area. Now, my recommendations for this exercise is to take it slow everything down, right? You don't want to be using too much weight. You don't want to be using different muscles. You want to be focusing predominantly on the lat and the serratus anterior for this exercise, okay? So the idea is to take it slow and make sure you're feeling that stretch. So get that full stretch, and at the point when you really start to feel the serratus be teared off the bone, at that point you can then come back up. Take it slow, guys, 100%. You'll notice way more gains. Low reps, slow tempo. You will feel the serratus be teared off the bone, dude. All right, guys, so exercise number two is going to be the plank up. So this pretty much is just a scapular protraction and retraction. That's all you're really thinking about. So what you want to do first and foremost is set up in a plank type fashion. So as if you're going to do a plank with your arms nicely placed against the floor, at which point you want to get up into the plank position. And then all you really need to think about is then letting your shoulder blades drop down with pushing your back forward, and that's going to protract the scapula, at which point you then want to go back down into the plank and then retract the scapula back. And that, as I said before, is the primary function of the serratus, to really protect the scapula when it is protracting or retracting. So by doing this, you are initially using the scapula as best as it possibly could be. Now, the scapula itself is quite hard to isolate, as it is pretty much a support muscle. It's not so much, you know, like a bicep. You just contract, boom, that's it. That's so easy to isolate, okay? The serratus is more so a support muscle for the other back muscles, as well as pressing movements, all that kind of stuff. So it's to help stabilize and keep safe the other muscles. And as such, it's pretty hard to isolate, but we definitely can help it grow by doing these particular exercises. All right, guys, so exercise number three is going to be the roll out, the ab wheel rollout, okay? So this particular exercise is kind of similar to a dumbbell pullover, right? But with this, you have a little bit more flexibility in terms of scapular retraction and protraction. So you will be getting a little bit more engagement within the serratus by doing this as opposed to a dumbbell or a cable pullover. So the idea is, guys, what you want to do is set up with the wheel. Now you can use a barbell if your gym doesn't actually offer this, as long as the barbell will spin, but the best thing that you could do is use the ab wheel. All you need to think about is really rolling out while letting your shoulder come forward and opening up the scapula, right? You want to open everything up, get a full stretch in the shoulder and treat it like a pullover. You just want to extend forward and then think about trying to pull your shoulder blades forward and down, and then that will really start to engage the serratus anterior. So this can also be done as an ab extension, right? Using an exercise band or say a TRX kind of equipment setup. So that's just to give you guys an idea. If you don't have an ab wheel or a barbell that the plates will actually spin, you can do that as an alternative and it will offer the same kind of results. All right, guys, so that is top 3 serratus anterior exercises. So I know it's quite a strange muscle. You might not have even bloody heard of it. Who knows? But that is a problem, okay? Because if you are training for aesthetics, this muscle is going to be extremely important in shaping that midsection. I can guarantee you that the serratus is one of the most eye-catching body parts that you will see out there, especially if you're wearing a singlet, right? It's one of the body parts that will stick out. You ready? Boom! Pops out of just about everything you're wearing. And it is one of those muscle groups that will play a pivotal role in how your midsection will appear. So anyway, guys, that was just a quick video. Top 3 serratus exercises. Try those exercises out and let me know in the comments which one was your favorite. Give it a like if you did enjoy this as well. And I'm just gonna wrap the video up here. I hope you enjoyed watching because I enjoy making it. I'll catch you in the next one later.